First of all, a quick tip, a lot of VTXs overheat if they're left on the bench with a battery plugged in. So put a fan on your drone while you are setting it up, because then the VTX will not overheat. First you need to plug in a battery. If you have a BLHeli S ESC, you're going to skip to this timestamp. And if you have a BLHeli 32 ESC, just keep watching. If you have a BLHeli 32 ESC, you go to this site here. I've also linked it in the description. And you download the BLHeli configurator. You make sure the prop's off, and then you hit connect and read setup. You want to set the motor timing to 23 degrees. You want to set both the high and low PWM frequency to 48 kHz. Then click write setup. You then disconnect and go to this timestamp. For BLHeli S ESCs, you want to go to the escconfigurator.com, this site here, and I'll also link it down in the description. Then you click flash all. You want to choose Bluejay. Most often the ESCs are auto-detected, but if it's not, just make sure that it matches what it says in the manual for the ESC. You want to select the newest version, that is 0.16 at this given time, and then hit flash. Wait for the flashing to be done. Make sure the motor timing is set to 22.5 degrees, and then we're good to go. So hit write setup and then disconnect. You want to go into Betaflight into the Motors tab. If you want to click Reorder Motors, make sure the prop's off and then enable the toggle. Click start. Now you want to look at the drone and see what motor is spinning and click the corresponding motor inside Betaflight. When you place all 4 motors, you want to click save. Select reverse motors for the props out configuration. Click save and reboot. It should auto connect, but if it doesn't, just click connect again. Head into the motor tab and click motor direction. Make sure the prop's off and enable the toggle. Now you want to click wizard, click on start motors and notice the way each motor is spinning. Put a finger on it to feel what way it's spinning, and if it's spinning the wrong way, click on the number corresponding to that motor inside Betaflight. Notice that the motors change direction. Before we leave, we're going to click the bidirectional dshot. Be sure to set the motor poles right. These are the magnets on the outer bell of your motor. You can count them if you want. Normally 5 inches are 14 and smaller are 12. Hit save and reboot again. So click connect again and head into the model tab. Make sure the virtual model matches the movement of the real drone. So tip that drone around and see if it matches what the drone is doing inside. If it doesn't, go in the configuration tab and change the gyro alignment. Next, click save and reboot. Now, the next thing you need to do is click the like button. And if you like these quick tutorials, consider hitting that subscribe button. It really helps. And also leave a comment down below about what you want a quick tutorial about. Now go into the ports tab. If you're running DJI, set the configuration MSP to the TX and RX of the output that you're connected the Vista or the air unit to, and the serial RX to where you put your receiver. These can be looked at in the manual or in some of the boards themselves. If you're using an analog receiver, you want to set the peripherals to the VTX that you are using and the communication protocol that you're using. Now hit save and reboot again. Once you reboot and head into the receiver tab, you want to select serial via UART and then you want to click on the protocol that you are using. If you're using Tracer or ELRS, you also want to select CRSF. Hit save and reboot again. I won't go over how to bind your radio in this video, but leave a comment down below if you want it in another. Under the receiver tab, check that the bars are moving according to the stick that you are moving. It's not, you might have to change the channel map, and this is changed by changing the letters TAER or AETR, depending on which setup your radio has. Once that is confirmed, click the save and reboot. If you are running an analog VTX, you need to go into the video transmitter and then set up the VTX table. These can be found by Googling your VTX, and there's a VTX table for them as well. Now head into the OSD tab and set up the OSD. Remember, if you're using DJI, not everything will work. You can find lists of this online to which element does work on DJI. Enable the OSD element you want and drag them around to select where to place them and then click save and reboot. Next we go into mode and we find the arm mode and click add range. When you click add range and then you select auto, you can just move the stick on a radio and it will auto select that stick that's moving. Do the same for the beeper and the flip after crash to enable turtle mode. Remember to put them on separate switches. Adjust the sliders to match the small notch just below them whenever you hit a switch. Then hit save and reboot again. An extra tip here, go into the Blackbox and set it to 4 kHz or 3.2 depending on which gyro you have, and then set the debug mode to gyro scale. If you run an SD card, you can put an SD card in and select SD, or if you run onboard flash, you can select the onboard flash. Hit save and reboot and then unplug the battery. Now the drone is set up and all you need to do is install the props correctly. I feel for the small writing on it to know which side is front one, and then match it to the configuration we set up under the motors tab. Tighten the prop knot, take it outside and do a hover test. Don't stand near it and be ready to disarm if anything is wrong. Assuming everything is done right, you should now have a flying drone. So the next step, I'd suggest you go watch this video right here. It's just under a minute long and it will teach you how to tune your drone very efficiently. So as always, let's get out there and get flying.